From our studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park, it's Okoboji Broadcast with Jeff Thee.
Welcome to Okoboji Broadcast, everybody. I'm Jeff Thee, coming to you from our studios here at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park. With me today is Mike Ehret from Dickinson County Emergency Management. And welcome, my friend. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
It's next week is a big week and an annual thing when you live here in, I guess you part of Tornado Alley anyway, but Severe Weather Awareness Week is going on next week.
Right, yep. Kind of an annual event, the transition from winter to spring and summertime weather, and a time of year where we try and use that time that week to remind folks that we're shifting seasons and we're shifting weather, and time to start thinking about spring and summer weather, thunderstorms and tornadoes and floods and so forth.
That's right, yeah, and the last couple of days are a testament of how the weather can change. We went from green grass and things starting to bud to 8 inches or whatever of snow, and it just goes to show you this time of the year things can change, and sometimes in a drastic fashion. So we want next week for people to get it in their head again of okay, these things can happen. So let's talk about next week and what we're doing here in Dickinson County.
Right, so like we said, next week's Severe Weather Awareness Week in Iowa. Each day has a different topic, from thunderstorms to how to receive watches and warnings to tornadoes, flooding, and just general preparedness. So each day has its own topic. We'll be, my office will be putting out different things through social media and so forth on what you can do to prepare for those individual items and so forth. And then kind of the focal point of the week, I guess, is the tornado drill on Wednesday.
Right, yes. And just a point that we're conducting this, but generally the entire state of Iowa is part of this, but for some reason the state itself is not pushing the severe weather awareness.
Right. Generally in past years on Wednesday, they've done where they issue a test watch in the morning, and then shortly after that a test warning, tornado warning. And that's the time where we sound the sirens and go through all our processes. And that's when we encourage businesses and schools and everyone else to seek shelter like they would if it was a real event. It's a good time to practice your plan and to do those things. So, this year they're not going to do the test watch and warning on a statewide basis, but we're still going to do it locally.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to do that. It gives everybody a chance, like I said, to practice their plan. And for us, up in the courthouse in the dispatch center, we use that as a training event each year for our dispatchers, so to remind them of our policies and procedures for when watches and warnings are issued and sounding the sirens and so forth. So we're still going to do it on our end. We're going to issue the watch and the warning through our Dickinson alert system, so you'll see that by text message and email if you're on that system.
Right.
And then, like I said, we'll be sounding the sirens a little after 10 o'clock on Wednesday.
Okay. And, for people, it's no different than when you give tell people to, as winter's approaching, make sure you've got cold weather clothing and so forth carried in your car, boots for if you have to walk anywhere, and all these different things to be prepared for. It can happen. I remember very clearly 1979, just before my senior year of high school, Algona, we had a EF3 came through late June and took out half the town. And luckily the warning system even in 1979 got people to their basements and so forth. So to have in your head of what you're going to do with your family or in your place of business, to be thinking about that, because it can happen.
Right. It doesn't take a lot of time to put together a plan. You can sit down, you can sketch it out or talk about it with your family or coworkers, know what you're going to do, and then when we do the tornado drill on Wednesday, you can go through and practice your plan.
Right.
And when you practice it, you probably will find something that, hey, this didn't work so well, let's change this up a little bit, and then it'll be even better.
Yeah.
God forbid you have to put it into place. Real life.
Yeah, absolutely. But you want to know what it is you need to do. Finding that interior room that doesn't have glass and so forth on the outside, being able to, okay, we're going to get under these desks, because head injuries are very prevalent. If a tornado takes out your building, you've got flying debris at hundreds of miles an hour. To be able to protect your body in any way possible.
Right, absolutely. That's the big thing, is to protect yourself, because there's a lot of stuff flying around in the air. So
yeah.
you got to be protected from that.
Absolutely. So, and of course, tornado watch is that conditions could be right, and stay attuned to your local broadcast. If you have a weather radio, those different things. So you're paying attention to what's going on with weather conditions.
Absolutely. Yep. That's your cue to start watching the sky, especially if you're outside on the lake or golf course or something. We've all lived in Northwest Iowa long enough. We know when it starts getting dark blue off to the west and storms are coming in, and you know when it's coming. It's time to get inside and start listening to the radio, watching TV. Yeah,
and you know when that for older people, that humidity is getting to your joints. Okay, it feels like we can get a storm.
Right.
And of course, tornado warning is that conditions have, whether it's circular and the radar's picking it up or something on the ground, it is time to take cover.
Yep, that's time to take action. That's your go time. That's when you get to your shelter and have that radio in your shelter too, so you can listen and monitor conditions or turn the TV up if you're within earshot of the TV. Whatever works for you, just to keep getting those updates as you're in your shelter, so you know when it's safe to come out.
Right. And I know we had some updates to our sirens and so forth throughout the county last year and a couple of the cities. How are we going to be testing those?
So in the past, we've tested them every Wednesday at noon. We just set them off, and that's how we know if they're working or not, is if they go off or not. What we've done at the county and with some of the cities is they've added kind of what I call a two-way functionality to that. So the system can actually send out a message to the sirens and say, hey, check everything over, see if everything's good, and it'll send a message back saying, yes, everything's good, or no, this isn't working, that's not working, and then we know right away that we need to fix it, and that happens daily.
Yeah.
And that's without even setting the sirens off. Weekly, with those sirens, we'll do what's called a growl test. So that means they're going to start up just enough. If you're close to it, you'll hear them just start to spin up, and then they'll shut off.
Right.
That's just enough to test the parts of the sirens that move, so we can make sure those are working.
Right.
So it really doesn't bother anybody like the full test does. And then we'll do the full test with those sirens on the first Wednesday of each month.
Okay.
Now for the other cities that didn't do upgrades, we're still going to do them every Wednesday at noon, like we have in the past. So there'll be no changes there.
Yeah, and just when the conditions are right, and you do hear those sirens go off, that's what this advanced technology is for. With what we've done with radar detection and so forth, there is something happening, and it's not just tornadoes. We can get to severe weather or severe thunderstorm, high straight winds. You think of the winds that went through central Iowa last year.
Right, absolutely. I mean, and then that's another case. If we know that there's a storm coming with high winds, generally, 75 miles an hour or greater, we may activate the sirens for that as well.
Yeah.
That's a little trickier because you don't always know they're coming. Sometimes they develop right over top of you, and it's just, you don't get a lot of lead time, but that may be another instance where we sound the sirens. The key is, and what we try and tell people is, when you hear the sirens, get inside and get information.
Yeah.
So go inside first, get to shelter, and then get that TV or radio on and find out what's going on.
Yeah. Protect your office co-workers, your family as best as you can.
Yep.
And that's why this upcoming week is so important.
Yep.
Prepare, think it through, think of where you're going to go, think of how everybody's going to protect their body, and just run through it.
Yep, absolutely.
So if something happens, it's okay, everybody go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely. And not just tornadoes and thunderstorms. Along with thunderstorms, sometimes we get very fast moving water over roadways, and we always tell people, if you don't know the depth of that water, don't go driving through it.
Right, yep. We saw that a few years ago with some of the heavy rain events we had, where you can quickly fill up some of those low spots on the roads. The storm drains can't keep up.
Yeah.
What we tell people is turn around, don't drown.
Yeah.
So if you don't know how deep it is, don't risk it.
Yeah.
Just find a different route or hang on. Give it a little time. The storm drains will catch up, and you can go on your way.
Yeah. If your vehicle stalls out in the middle of that, and you've got fast-moving water, trying to walk through it is not going to help the situation whatsoever. So just stay out of it.
Right,
so next week, throughout the week, it's time to prepare and get ready for potential weather, because we are at the season.
Absolutely.
All right. If people have any other questions for the county, is there a way to contact you or your office, Mike?
Sure. So I've got a website. It's dcem.us. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/DickinsonEM. Twitter at DCOEM. I've got phone number at the office, 712-336-3987.
Okay.
Mike at dcem.us. There's a lot of different ways.
Various ways to get a hold of you, yeah.
Absolutely.
And weather radios, how does one come about getting one of those? You hear about them and you're like, where do I get one of these?
Right. There's, I think a lot of the hardware stores in the area have them. Walmart, Ace Hardware. I'm sure there's other stores that have them. There's online, of course, all kinds of places online to get them. The biggest thing, and most all of them come with this anymore, it's called SAME, Specific Area Message Encoding. Because the tower that covers our county also covers other counties.
Right.
And people don't want to be woke up for something that's happening up in Knowles County or Palo Alto County, for example. So you can program those radios just for our county, or maybe the county to the west, or depending on where you live. But
Right.
the point is, you can specify a specific county, and it's only going to alert you for that county.
Right. And even your cell phones, you can get alerts through there as well.
Right. There's what's called WIA alerts, wireless emergency alerts. Tornado warnings and flash flood warnings will come across your phone as well. So that's another way to get alerts.
So inform yourself, educate yourself, and be ready for anything, and live to see another day.
Absolutely.
All right. Mike, thanks for coming in here with me.
You bet. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Our guest has been Mike Ehret, Dickinson County Emergency Management. We want to thank him for taking time with us. You make sure you get prepared next week and start thinking for emergency weather here in Dickinson County. And we thank you for watching us right here on Okoboji Broadcast.
Okoboji Broadcast from the studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park is brought to you by the Scott Troutman State Farm Agency in Spirit Lake, Pure Fishing in Spirit Lake, Last Touch Painting and Cleaning providing interior, exterior, house painting and professional cleaning services in Spirit Lake, Quest Wealth Management, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, advisor Jan Spielman, AJ Spielman, and Erica Wachholz. Ducky's Marine and Motorsports Repair in Spirit Lake. Bank Midwest, dream big, plan wisely, live well. Lakes Regional Healthcare and Avera Partner. Attorney Bethany Brands at Brands Law Office in Spirit Lake. Ruthven Locker at the lake, where carnivores are welcome on Hill Avenue in Spirit Lake. Beck Engineering in Spirit Lake. Be Radiant Laser Skin Studio in the Okoboji Plaza in Okoboji. The YMCA of the Okobojis is the Bedell Family YMCA, building strong families and strong communities.